we go, this is it. This is the Canon EOS R and the RF16mm F2.8, and I'm just hand holding it and I'm walking, so any stabilisation is purely being done by the camera. There is no lens stabilisation. So how does this look? It's very lightweight, so I'm essentially kind of cradling the lens and the camera at the same time. It's kind of claw grip, half around the lens, half around the camera. But immediate thoughts are, this could work. I mean, that's plenty wide. And when you get a bit more relaxed and you bring the camera in closer, I'm probably 50 centimeters away from the camera, so therefore the audio should be good. There's a lot to like about this. Almost too good to be true. What have we got here? A wide angle lens with a fast aperture, small, lightweight and affordable. Too good to be true? Let's find out. If you're not familiar with my channel, I'm Ben Harvey. I'm an architect. I also do a lot of YouTube videos. I shoot landscapes and I also photograph a lot of buildings. So what I'm going to be looking for in this lens is, can I use it to make my YouTube videos? Can I shoot landscapes with it? And is it any good for architecture? I'm filming all of this on the RF16mm so that you can get a feel for what the footage looks like, what the stabilisation looks like. Remember, this is on the Canon EOS R, so it does not have IBIS. That might be a good thing, because some wide angle lenses on the Canon R6 and the R5, they start to look a bit wobbly on the edges. So hopefully this is actually better on the EOS R. If you're going to be using this lens for video, maybe filming yourself, then this is what the field of view looks like. This is at 2.8 and the camera is mounted on a switch pod. This is all shot on the Canon EOS R, which doesn't have IBIS, and this lens doesn't have optical stabilisation, but this does have active stabilisation enabled. If you want to see what options you've got, here they are all side by side. On the left you've got no stabilisation, difficult to watch. Active stabilisation, which is my preference, and then the enhanced stabilisation on the right should be better, but it looks like it's struggling and it's got micro jitters. Right, I'm going to get down to the beach here because the sun's going to be up in about 15 minutes. What a beautiful morning. Right, we'll get down onto the sand and I'll talk you through some of the physical features of this lens. It's a bit quieter, isn't it? Nice. First observation, this lens is very, very small. It might be described as a pancake lens. You can see here how big it is compared to the RF50mm F1.8. So if you own that, you can see they're almost identical. On the side of the lens, you've got a switch, and that changes the control ring from focus to being a control ring, so you could control aperture or whatever settings you want. But there's no manual and autofocus switch, which for landscapes, I'm just about to shoot a landscape behind me, if you focus on your subject and you want to switch it to manual focus, you're going to have to dive into the menus in order to do that. So maybe not ideal. So with a smaller, less feature-packed lens, that is one of the things you're going to miss out on. If you're using this to shoot video like I am right now, if you were to take this off the tripod and handhold it, it is manageable. Sometimes if your lens is big enough, you can hold on to the lens. Other times, like this instance, you're kind of half holding onto the lens, half holding onto the camera. Just another consideration. If you're going to put this onto a gimbal, this is so small and light, it's going to be very, very good for a gimbal setup. One of the immediate drawbacks is the size of the filter ring, the filter thread. That's 43mm. Now I don't have any filters that small, and I don't even have any step-up rings that small. Now I've got this lens for 2 days so that I can use it. Gordon Lang has kindly lent it to me for 2 days so I can do some testing with it, and I don't have enough time to actually get an ND filter so that I can properly shoot video at the correct shutter speed. So as soon as that sun is up, I'm not going to be able to shoot at 2.8 on this anymore. So that's another consideration, whether you're looking for filters for video or landscapes. If I was looking to shoot a long exposure of this scene across here, try and put a 10-stop filter on this, it's such a small filter thread, you just need to take that into consideration. Otherwise, let's go and shoot some photographs and see what the optical quality is like. Okay, the sun is up now, so it's too bright actually to film with the 16mm anymore. So let's go back to the office, have a look at some of the images, and we'll also do a quick focusing test. Right, back to the office. Here are the images in Lightroom. Now, if you're not aware, with brand new products, it's mainly not supported just yet. So the lens corrections, etc. are not available in Lightroom. So you have to shoot in RAW and JPEG, just to be certain. Now, this is the RAW file. You can see here behind the scenes, there's a lot going on. There is some distortion, and you've also got quite a lot of vignetting going on in the corners. Whereas if I switch to the JPEG, you can see that's been corrected. The vignetting is gone and the distortion in the center and pretty much the entire image has disappeared. Let's have a look at another image. Right, here you can see there's obviously something going on. These columns in real life are vertical. You've got heavy vignetting around the edge and the columns seem to be warping. Plus, if you zoom in, you can see there's a lot of chromatic aberration going on. This is the RAW file. Click on the JPEG and that's all been fixed. Vignetting has disappeared, the columns are vertical again, and the chromatic aberration has gone. So just to let you know, this is what's happening in the background. In this image, I've stepped back from the West Pier. I'm shooting with the sun behind me. Chromatic aberration is still apparent in the RAW file, and there's still a lot of distortion happening in those columns. If I switch to the JPEG, all of those problems have gone again. Let's have a look at a photograph with a bit more detail in it. As the sun came up, I started to reduce the aperture. This time it's at f8, and you can see that the vast majority of the vignetting has disappeared. Plenty of detail across the image. Switching to the JPEG, vignetting is gone. Let's zoom in and take a look at the middle of the image. And you can see there is plenty of detail to be happy about in the middle of the image. And just having a look around. f8, this is performing well. Here is a selection of my favourite images from that day, all JPEG straight out of camera. If you're thinking about using this lens for video, then you'll probably be interested in how quickly or slowly it focuses, plus how much noise the focusing motors make. So here's a quick test for you. This first clip is using the built-in microphone on the Canon EOS R. Same test again, but this time using an external microphone, the Rode Video Micro. I think that this lens is going to sell like mad. So should you be getting this lens? I think the answer is it's a no-brainer, because we've been wanting this. They didn't even put it on their roadmap. Canon, you little teasers. This lens is exactly what Canon mirrorless people have been waiting for. A fast, wide-angle, affordable. I mean, their existing wide-angle lenses, they're £1,500 upwards, and they weigh 1 kilogram. According to Canon's website, it's due to be released early November 2021, and it's going to retail for £319.99. Should you be getting the Canon RF16mm? I think it's a no-brainer at this price point. Yeah, look at this. This is wide. This is wide. This is lightweight. This is fun. This is making shooting video fun again. If you've got any questions at all, let me know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this content, consider subscribing. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.